Chicago with the lead.
Batista with the catch.
Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right now.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Hello and welcome back to The Bounce. I am Kev. With me, as always, my good friend James, who's got some pretty prolific company in town today, don't you, James?
Yeah, had some wild company in town. They opened the Larry Bird Museum downtown Terre Haute today, and one guy named Larry Bird was there. Showed up. Stunned, actually. Very surprised. Surprised he was there. Gave like a 2-minute long speech, thanked all his fans, and I'm like, you don't mean any of this, but good for you. Good for you being here.
What would he say? Something along the lines of, I'm an introvert and I keep asking myself, how do I wind up on stage all the time? And it's
he cracked a joke in this press conference afterwards where he's like, I think this is it. I think this is the last time I'm ever gonna be on stage. What else do I have to do? Like this is it.
This is it. It's my last obligation.
Yeah.
Introvert my ass. We all heard and saw what that dude would say to his opponents on the court. I don't think he has
what he did
any problem expressing himself.
On the court was quite wild.
I love Larry to death.
Off the court, he's quite different. It looks like.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't like people. That's what I think. The reality.
I don't think that man's a people person per se, you know.
But he's a hell of a hooper, a legend. Congrats on your very own Hall of Fame. That's pretty nuts, right? He's got his own museum.
It's literally his own museum. I know I saw a Dream Team jersey in there. I haven't been in there yet, but I saw pictures of it. There's a Dream Team jersey, all kinds of shit in there. It's like, you know what? Good for you, dog. Good for you.
Yeah, I know I'll be visiting the next time. I can't say when. The next time I go visit my old stomping grounds of
let's not act like you're here all the time, like motherfucker. Like we didn't make it 3 minutes. I ain't seen like Kev's originally from here, and I ain't seen him one time in this town. I see him in India all the dang time, but not here.
Well, that's why I'm as shocked as you are that Larry actually showed up. All right. Most people don't go back to Paradise when they get out. It's like an Andy Dufresne situation. I am just kidding.
Yeah, you run.
I love you. You are just incredibly far from where I am these days. So it's a bit of a hike, but I'll be out there one day.
He's a liar. Don't trust him.
Oh, you know who else you can't trust? Oh, what were you going to say?
We also got a shout out his former competitor who passed away this week. The legendary Bill Walton passed away earlier this week. Rest in peace, big guy. I'm gonna miss you going from talking about college basketball to what's going on in the Stars every game. So, shout out Bill Walton this week.
Man, one of the greats on the microphone as well as
it was always himself. Always himself.
He had that uncanny ability, as James just mentioned, to sort of blend the line between just doing the job of commentary, but no one filled the dead air quite like Bill Walton when you have, you know, a timeout right after a TV break or something, and they can't cut to commercial, or you know, there's an injury on the play or a review. Bill Walton, story time with Bill Walton was always amazing. Classic. And then you have some of his colleagues come out on Twitter since his passing and show his text messages to them, and it lets you know, like, that's just who he was. It was not an act. That's just how he was all the time.
Did you see the ones where he would text the guy that did commentary? So he would do the play-by-play with him, and he'd be like watching games he did, and he'd be like, Texas playing, and he'd text and be like, man, there's this hell of this basketball game on. I think you should turn this on right now, and just keep texting him about it. Or he'd be like, hey man, like, I think you need to turn this game on. This guy, I think he's stealing your material. Like, I think this is it. Like, I think he's stealing your fucking material. Those text messages were awesome. What up, Rye Guy? Thank you for coming down. What's going on, man? He's a dog champion. He's awesome.
Salute to Bill Walton. And for the young cats out there, James, they might not necessarily know how damn good Bill Walton was as a player.
Bill Walton was a dog. He'd be considered one of the best all time if he'd been born about 20 years later because he had foot problems. He kept breaking his feet and shit like that. If he'd been born a little later, modern medicine would have made him just an absolute monster. But since we're talking about, let's go ahead and pull up his stats. Let's have a time here for Bill.
Yeah, he was a college basketball great at UCLA, and then of course
at UCLA.
continued to be a stud for the Trailblazers. And after that injury,
he had immaculate hair too.
Oh, yeah, just one of the greatest looks of all time. But then after the injury, he was also a valuable member of that late 80s Celtics team, as you mentioned, a former teammate.
Yeah, he won. He was sixth man of the year for the Celtics in 85-86.
That's right. So sixth man of the year at that. Yeah, that's dope.
He was two-time All-Star, two-time NBA champ, two-time All-NBA, two-time All-Defense. He was a 77-78 MVP. On that championship team, he was the sixth man of the year, part of NBA's 75th anniversary team. I don't know where he was drafted at. It's not showing me here.
But like I said, 77 Blazers is one of the best teams of all time. Few people talk about.
He won MVP that year. 18.9 points a game, 11.2 rebounds per game, 52% from the field. This motherfucker did never shoot a three. This is pre. That was pre 3-point line too. 5 assists a game, 2.5 blocks a game. Dude was a dog. And then very next season, foot injury. Then 2 of the next 3 seasons didn't play foot injuries.
Yeah, that was the
bite-sized Mike. That's a monster of they were fucking stellar.
81 and 15, it says, over parts of a 2-year stretch. Wow.
Just sicko shit.
Nate says he could have been the Doc Ellis of the NBA. Yeah. Some of my favorite Bill Walton talks are where he's talking about how he can hear sound or hear colors and see sounds. Justin Herbert's in the chat.
What up, Herbert? Hope the little one's doing well. He was the #1 overall draft pick in 74 going to the Trailblazers out of UCLA. 2-time NCAA champ, 3-time alternate team, 3-time all-region, 2-time AP player of the year, 3-time consensus All-American, 3 times Naismith Award winner. This motherfucker was good. He averaged – this is insanity. His college career stats. In his last season, it was his worst year of the 3. College career stats, he averaged 20 points a game. They only have assists for 1 season, so 5.5 assists in his last season. They don't have the stats for the other ones. He averaged 15.7 rebounds a game.
Woo! I mean, that's a lot of assists. That's pretty above his time.
Yeah. They didn't count him until 73, 74, so I don't have any idea what happened before that. He averaged he was 65% from the field for his career. Not a great free throw shooter, 64% for his career. He was a monster. And it just in the foot problems derailed his careers. Hell yeah, Herbert. 4th words. We'll take number 4. 7 months. That's crazy, man. It feels
top 5, baby.
It feels like it was really just yesterday. I got to take a hiatus. I got a baby on the way.
It's these daily shows, man. Awesome. That we just make time. You just burn through time.
Yep. John's probably right.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I don't even know who else I'd have to really dig deep on that.
Elite vocabulary. The other one that might, and probably not even that close, but just someone I remember, another former Blazer and father of a current NBA stud, one Mr. Arvydas Sabonis.
Oh yeah, he was. Good. Yeah, we'd have to. I could have to really look into that. I'm trying to find. I'm gonna pull up a picture of his. There's a picture I'm fucking looking for. I got it.
There we go. Oh, Sabonis, but back end of his career. Yeah, if he had been over to the NBA earlier, who knows what would have happened, and who knows what's about to happen? Because we are joined by our third, the Knicks stop. What is up?
What up?
How you doing, brother?
What up? I see Justin Herbert in the chat. All I gotta say is scoreboard. Kev, you can say it right back to me though, so it doesn't really matter. But
And then the Celtics can say it right
I'm
back to
still
him
licking
because
my
they didn't
wounds,
lose the
yeah.
game. Oh yeah, welcome
Yeah, I'm
to
just-
our NBA show where we never got to talk about the Pacers making the finals, and then we took a week off, and we don't have to talk about them playing anymore because they suck.
let's go.
From Eastern Conference Finals to not making the finals, so we don't have to acknowledge them.
Do the show for 2 straight years, almost never missed a
Took a
week. We missed
week
1
off.
week, and then I get my
The
one.
Pacers go to the
I miss
finals
my
and
one
lose it
chance
and
to
get
talk
swept
about
out
the
of the
Pacers
finals
in the
all
Eastern
at
Conference Finals.
at the same time.
All I gotta say, bro, fully healthy Knicks would be in the finals right now.
I don't know if I disagree with the problem
Yeah,
or not. They weren't.
I don't know if I
That's
do
the
either. You were
problem.
missing about 7 players by the time it came down to Game 7 against the Pacers. So,
But
yeah.
as a lifelong Mavericks fan, I do have to say I'm really happy with how tonight's playing out.
Ooh, now you're gonna get some heat from
John's gonna get all right.
John in the chat. 52-34, the current score on my side. You guys, is that up to date?
That's what I've got to.
I have a parlay of New York Yankees, New York Rangers, and Dallas Mavericks. 34 to pay out 260.
Yeah, well, the Mavericks one looks great right now.
Yeah, they were plus money too. I'll take the Mavs plus money any
Yeah, they
day.
were plus. Yeah. Herbert, your boys were talking about the top priorities. Paul George in the offseason.
Justin
had an elite
Herbert,
wing.
too, bro. Also, just to preface you guys, I'm a few beers deep. So
Yeah,
Hell
let's
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Herbo hit at a jackpot in the
Yeah,
casino.
Herbert.
Look
I
at
saw that. I think I liked the picture on Facebook. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It was a nice,
Herbert,
Let's-
yeah.
it was
Let's
a nice
go.
nice little hand pay. I'm going to the casino tomorrow.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, there you go.
Sorry to distract. What were we talking about?
No, you're all good. We were just
Bill
doing our
Walton.
little tip of the cap to the legend, Bill
Oh,
Walton.
the legendary Bill.
Oh, all right,
Walton.
Pete.
Before we dive into, I mean, what do you guys want to talk about first? We're obviously going to keep tabs on the Mavericks Timberwolves game.
Not
We can
this
talk about
shit.
the Eastern Conference Finals, or we can talk about LeBron James being a free agent and some of the other nonsense. We're also going to talk about Bronny and some of his decisions coming into the draft. Any preference? You guys got anything you're burning to talk about first?
I would love to talk about this NBA game, but they fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you get. All
Here we
you
go.
get. I just
Here we
follow-
can talk about this. Rudy Gobert is the greatest version of Hashim Thabit the league has ever seen.
Rudy Gobert is the Michael Jordan of Hassan Whitesides.
Here's
He is
a
a Mecca
Here's a
Okafor.
question. Yes. Question for Bite Size Bikes. Who are the Mavs gonna or the Timberwolves gonna try to trade for to pair with Ant? Because Captain Gobert ain't fucking it.
You can't trade.
Right.
You can't trade for Donovan Mitchell because he's a defensive liability, and that's not the culture that they've built in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You can't trade for LeBron because he's 87 years old. You can't trade for Anthony Davis because you already have 2 7-footers clogging the paint. Well, not clogging the paint because Cat's on the perimeter, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Paul George. They want, I think, 10 first-round picks in return. Something
Bite Size
ridiculous.
Bikes coming in hot.
Oh,
He will not quit him.
yeah.
He will not quit him, folks.
I'm just gonna go grab my phone charger.
Dude, if
I
they
will
come
say-
back from 18 down, then for sure,
yeah.
they're the Mavs
I
have
will
to be sweating.
say the Nugs we're up 20 and lost to the Wolves, so it is possible.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Telling me there's a chance. Justin Herbert will be the next super team. Guarantee you this.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Oh God.
He said you're a Knicks fan now. If you didn't hear him, Herbert.
I'm gonna be really disappointed if the Wolves lose this game. The conference finals would have been embarrassingly bad. The Pacers I think you posted when they lost the series, you're like, Pacers should be up 3-1, but here we are. Like,
Oh yeah,
when
yeah.
the Pacers shit the bed in game 1, up 3 with 13 seconds left and more on the
Rick
mountain.
Rick Carlisle shit the bed.
Up
Yeah.
3 and possession, and then Andrew Nemhard was like, name a random celebrity that was at that game.
I have no idea.
All right, let's just go random. Hey,
Larry Bird.
yeah, Larry Bird, you take a shot, and then pass it right to the front row.
Yeah. What was it? It was game 1, game 3, game 4. They were up at least 5 under 5 minutes left in the game. 2 of them, they were up under 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, I might have been thinking game 2 or 3, but there was one where whenever Drew
Maybe it was
Holiday
2 or
got the
whatever it
steal
was.
off of Nemhard late, and it was
Yeah,
like
call a fucking
Pacers
timeout,
had the
man.
call the timeout, advance the ball. What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's I know Nemhard's played well, but that's
Nate
still
knows.
Drew Holiday applying that pressure on him, and there's no
Yeah,
need to put
Nemhard
the young guard
gave him
in
a
that
shot
situation.
in multiple
Just
games
call a
there, those
timeout.
last 2 without Halliburton. Yeah, let's
So
just
I'm
talk
not
about
I'm not necessarily calling for Carlisle's job here, but he definitely has to be better in the playoffs. There's no two ways about it. He's got to do a better job with his rotation. He's got to do a better job at calling timeouts. They did call a good play later on in the same
they ran
game.
4 verts. They ran 4 verts.
They ran a wonky looking 4
Yeah.
verts or a dub bomb for Blitz fans.
Yeah.
And somehow it worked. But hey, okay, if I'm gonna take points away, I got to give them where they got a good look off that play. So fine. But no, I'm torn, guys, between happy, we shouldn't even be here this season. We're a year ahead of schedule at least. But there's the also once you're there, it's just so deflating to not even win one game. And it's just kind of like, damn, did we deserve to be? If you want to celebrate being here, but then you're like, fuck, did we deserve to be here? Can't even win one game.
It wasn't like you weren't competitive. It was just
I wouldn't blame it all on Rick Carlisle, though. I would say a lot of it is not shot making. A lot of it is being very stagnant in the late.
Stagnant, new word Peeves made up.
Yeah, fire word, by the way.
I like it. Actually, fuck yeah, it is.
What was I gonna say? Just being very stagnant in the fourth quarter. Every game, letting the Celtics do what they do best when they get hot, and that's make shots. I don't know. I think re-signing Siakam would be a good move.
Yep, agree.
Got to add someone though, because it's easy to just put a body down low and then just put like an above-average defender on Halliburton. Halliburton's also really bad in the half court. I realized he's kind of a transition merchant. Don't know if you'd agree with
that. I don't disagree. I might be the first time I've heard it termed that way. I love that. But yeah, no, I don't disagree. A lot of his half court offense turns into a step back 3. I think, again, I don't know if that's coaching or if that's out there on the court. They're just deciding not to run sets. But I agree with you. They get stagnant. They watch the ball a lot. And when it gets to be half court, they seem to take quick threes, and especially when you have a lead. It's like that's the last thing you want to do. Seems like when TJ McConnell's not out there, they don't really know how to play basketball in the half court. I think he does a lot for them in that situation. But no, what else? I agree with you on the transition being his strength. What else were you thinking there, Keebler?
I think you just got to put the ball in Nemhard's hands more. He played out of his mind for the series, and I don't necessarily think it was all a fluke. Being on the shit end of the stick for a game winner wasn't fun, especially being at a bar. But great.
Ooh.
But I would say keep Miles Turner, keep Siakam, give Nemhard more of an offensive role, keep Halliburton because he can just get out in transition like it's fucking nuts, and then try to trade for like a 3 that can, like a 3 and D wing. Probably Paul George would probably fit that description the best. That's realistic.
I'm so petty. I don't want Paul George to come back. I'm just like, no, you don't deserve to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere else. Go to Detroit.
I would say Paul George. You could offer OG Anunoby $60 million a year, but I think he'll stay with the Knicks.
Yeah, well, I wonder if Pascal would like or hate that. It just depends. On the court, I think you would love it, but who knows how they got along.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you followed me here?
I'm just trying to think of who else, because the Mavs are winning the chip this year, so you can't trade for like PJ Washington.
What about any thought to Benedict Mathurin just coming back from injury and having a 3rd-year leap where he's the viable third option? I know he's not really the defender that you're looking for, but he has gotten a little better in that regard.
I'd say trade him for an established star while you have the chance, while his value is still high. I mean,
Okay.
his value didn't depreciate during the playoffs because he didn't play a single game. So it's still a team willing to take a chance on a young player who's shown that he can be good. Whether that's for like a Paul George, for like I said, like a really solid 3-and-D wing. I think that might be the most viable option, as bad as it is to say. I know you're going to disagree with me on that take. Maybe you won't. Or maybe you'll say you won't, but you do. But I think he holds a good amount of value. And I think if you're trying to be in contention and get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, you might want to make your window a little shorter.
That is fair. And I don't know that I'm on the fence about it, but I have to admit I'm biased because I was high on Mathurin coming into the draft, and then the Pacers got him, and so I've been on the
He was
Mathurin
good his
hype
first
train.
year. He wasn't.
Mhm.
It wasn't terrible.
So I'll probably be biased. James, what do you think? Do you agree with Keebler's take that the Pacers need to trade for another established star, or do you think as long as they bring back Siakam, they have a good shot to get back here next year?
You have to, like, Siakam is number one. Like, you have to get him back. And then can you see how you look with Mathurin healthy? And then when he's healthy, can you possibly parlay a trade deal into somebody like they did with Siakam this year? I don't think they can win it with the team they have. But Siakam and healthy Halliburton have proven they can win games. You know, they didn't just accidentally, as much as I hate them, they didn't just fall into the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, until once Jalen Brunson's hands broke, then they.
I will just say, they were playing an infirmary in the second round. Just want to.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, the Celtics played all the infirmaries all the way to the finals, so let's call a spade here.
And still got taken to 7 games. Just want to throw that out there too.
No, it's true. Now, the one thing I will immediately disavow is Nate trying to drag back these Miles Turner trade rumors. It's fine. It's been 8 years of these. They're finally done, Nate. All right. This is worse than you onside kicking in a game of NCAA when you're already up 3 touchdowns. You know, it's just rude. Yeah. It's unnecessary. And I do not appreciate it. But all kidding aside, I am leaning more towards James's take. But again, I take that with a grain of salt because I'm a homer. And in this sense, it's one of my favorite young players on the team. I think, generally speaking, logic would go with Keebler here and say if you want to win a championship in the next 2 years, you add a veteran established player. Because they do have a lot of young players on the bench, but also they were a very deep team this year, even sometimes in the playoffs. Not as deep as Rick Carlisle thought they were when he was going to 11-man rotations, and that cost them some games early. But they did get a lot of contribution from their bench when Halliburton went out. I think the bench was out playing the starters in most games, but so there's part of me that just wants them to run it back, bring back Siakam, and see what they have with Mathurin. But I wouldn't begrudge them if Mathurin turns into the Bruce Brown of this season, and it's a pre-trade deadline move that they make next season. I don't know if they'll make a big splash in the offseason. I am happy to be here, but this is one of those weird situations for a franchise when you get this far. They weren't expected to get this far, and now they have a whole new set of expectations that I don't think they would have had coming into next year if it weren't for a little bit of luck in this playoff run. So I don't know. I don't want them to overreact either and trade away some great young talent and end up with a team that just gets bounced in the second round again, and then their window is closed. So we will see what the Pacers will do, but I'm checking back over here. I've got a 20-point game, guys, with about 2 minutes left in the half. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah. 21 over here is what I'm seeing.
Last thing I'll say about the Pacers, they're like that. They're like a team where like free agents know that there's like nothing to do in Indiana. So like They won't like willingly go there. They just kind of have to get traded there, and then like.
Well, you have to go like north to south. Like Siakam came from the far north where it's freezing cold.
Yeah, you just got to come from somewhere worse.
It's not any warmer down there.
I'm sure he'll be on. I'm sure he'll be on the heat
worse.
at some point. He's just gonna go right down the. He's just gonna go right down the longitude line. Is that what it's called? Latitude, longitude.
I think you're right. It's been a while.
I think
it's the y-axis.
Yeah, I think it's longitude. Long.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Pascal said all the right things. I'm never gonna believe wholeheartedly what a guy says when a microphone's stuck in his mouth in front of an arena full of fans. So of course he's gonna say stuff like, "This is why I came here. I love it here." But we'll see if that ends up being the case. But as the Mavericks continue to extend their lead, it's now 64-38. We'll see if that Wolves comeback is queued up for the second half. But
this is Luka's first of 14 rings. So just buckle in, gentlemen, because it's gonna be
the Mavs are gonna be the ones that have to save us from the Celtics. They gotta save us.
Whichever rings Luka doesn't win in his career, the Knicks are gonna win. So it'll be like 3 for the Knicks and then like 14 for Luka. So
Kyrie versus Boston too in the finals. That's gonna be fun. When those games in Boston are gonna be wild. I think they're probably I mean they're gonna boo Kyrie heavily every time he touches the ball, right? I would think it wasn't a very graceful exit. They're gonna be jazzed up. Those folks are gonna pay upwards of $1,000 for those seats. I think Kyrie's gonna hear it every single time he touches the ball in every Boston home game.
They're gonna be relentless.
Yo,
speaking of relentless,
Jay Herbo. That's kind of ironic.
He was saying, did you guys see this earlier? As I stutter through the whole thing. Team with such high expectations and low outcome. Pacers, Knicks, Heats, T-Wolves. Ouch. Coming from a Sixers fan. What's going on here?
The T-Wolves didn't really have high expectations, though. Like, everyone knew they were a high seed, but everyone was like, oh, yeah, like Cat and Gobert's not going to work in the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. So I give them credit for where they've gotten to. 5 games in the Western Conference Finals. Only being able to really rely on Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels every other game. Like, I don't know. I think this season for them was very good. Again, another team where I don't think free agents are going to go there. You're just going to have to like trade for them. No dig at you, John. But Minnesota is not necessarily a high profile city. At least I don't think. But I would like to see what they do if they retain Conley, given how he's going into year 48.
Yeah, he's as old as I am.
Still good. Still playing pretty solid.
Yeah, his knees are in much better condition than mine. Hey, I will say this about Minnesota. 100%. They're getting a 2-day SummerSlam here, Keebler, so don't sleep on them. They might be moving up in the world. Maybe they just got to find a superstar that's a big wrestling fan and then be like, listen, bro, we got front row seats 2 nights of SummerSlam in the Twin Cities, baby. That ought to get somebody. That and Mike Conley feeding you assists every night. That might do it.
Yeah.
All right. 68-40 now, guys. I keep thinking like, okay, it's going to end here because it's the final minute. Now 60. I guess it was an and one. Now it's 69.
Yeah, they just keep climbing. Yep.
I'm so sorry, John.
I'm going to get water real quick.
Heard. Let's move into, before we get into what I think is going to be our NBA finals. This will allow us to kind of maybe we'll get into the start of the third quarter by the time we do what I wasn't expecting, which is an NBA finals preview. But I wanted to talk with you, James, and Keebler when he gets back about the biggest free agent in the NBA right now, one Mr. LeBron James.
Who's that?
Woo! LeBron James. Where do you think are some options for LeBron? And do you think coming back to LA is an option at all for him?
No.
I love it.
Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. He wants to play with his son. His son has a fringe draft pick at best. ESPN, I think, has him at 56 after a strong combine, whatever the fuck that means in a bad draft. He's had 10 invites for personal workouts, for individual workouts, and he's declined all of them but 2. The 2 are the Lakers and the Suns. So I don't know if that means those are the 2 teams LeBron's going to play for, but I also am like, somebody might just swoop in and take this motherfucker just to see if LeBron, make LeBron put his money where his mouth is.
Here's what I'm thinking, right? As a non-biased Knicks fan, we have 2 late first-round picks, right? We're going to draft Zach Edey, which I don't want, but it's going to happen with one of them. We're going to draft Bronny with the other one. And then we're going to trade Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, a bench piece, and picks for Anthony Davis. And then it's going to be – and then we're going to re-sign –
Non-biased Knicks fan here.
And then we're going to re-sign OG.
He's cooking.
So our lineup is going to be Brunson, Dante, OG, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And we're going to win the chip next year.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that. That
And
honestly, if you did that,
and we can let Hartenstein walk, so that way we have money for LeBron.
I think you. I want to see that rebuild in 2K. I think I want to see how that plays out because I don't know if everybody's gonna be able to make that happen for you. But goddamn, it would be a nice roster. I'll give you that.
The league doesn't want it to happen because then they know that the Knicks are going to go 82-0, and then the streets of Manhattan wouldn't be able to.
Down 29.5, John.
Chaos in the streets. I speak only in superlatives, John. So
I firmly believe somebody's going to do
all
it.
Time.
I think somebody's going to call LeBron's bluff here and just be like, all right, man, we're going to draft your son late, somewhere in the 20 to 30 range. Somebody's going to pull the trigger.
They might as well, right, James? How many players have
Why
withdrawn from draft consideration now? You had a list earlier. Those are
all of them.
Yeah, like everybody.
Worst drafts ever.
I know Dickinson.
Mark Sears pulled out today from Alabama. Alex Caravan from UConn pulled out yesterday. Caravan was probably a top 15 draft pick in this one. Jaron Stevenson is returning to Alabama. I'm just rolling through. Caleb Love's going back to Arizona. RJ Davis is going back to UNC.
Boo, RJ Davis. Boo.
Yeah, you said
yeah.
Hunter Dickinson's going to he's going back to Kansas. It's fucking because of NIL, because these guys can get paid. They're just fucking. They'll go back to school. Then most of these guys have a 6th year, so they don't give a shit.
These guys.
RJ Davis. What's that?
These guys can play fucking LeBron careers in college right now.
Yeah, this is the last year finally of this shit because this is the last COVID year. But Caleb Love and RJ Davis played for a national title at UNC, which seems like 25 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. At this point, RJ Davis seems about as old as his dad, Hubert.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Good for them for getting paid, but this is a historically bad NBA draft.
I don't know if Hubert Davis is actually RJ's dad, by the way. Just want to make that clear. It was just a joke. Just a little bit of a joke there.
I won't fact check you on it.
Yeah, we don't fact check on this show.
Well, all right. So, James, you think somebody's going to draft Bronny as an attempt to sign LeBron?
They're just going to make LeBron put his money where his mouth is. They're not going to. Somebody's going to come in, swoop in, and not let him control this whole narrative.
What about a return?
Bronny's only working out for 2 teams.
What about a return to Cleveland?
Didn't either Bronny or Bron come out and say playing with each other isn't the biggest priority? I just want
LeBron said that, and it was also his rant about let Bronny be a kid, let him enjoy this process. This is crazy, this media thing, and then everybody's like, "But you said this, and you did this. You did this. You are the one that was like, I'm going to play with my son. You did this." So it's typical LeBron, him saying something, being mad that people bring it up all the time.
Let him be a kid instead of Instagramming about Taco Tuesday every fucking week while he's a kid
LeBron
in your house.
Did this.
You know what I mean? What are you talking about? Let him be a kid. You did this, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
You did this.
Nobody Nobody knew about Jeffrey Jordan. Again, it was a little bit of a different social media was not a thing back then, but goddamn, like Michael wasn't out here, pitching for his sons all throughout high school and college.
Yeah.
To be fair, Jordan couldn't really do that because his son was really, really, really bad at basketball.
Bronny averages 4 points a game.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Bronny is Jeffrey Jordan
coming off cardiac arrest.
Well, just I don't want to be mean, but like just because his heart's bad doesn't mean he's suddenly good at basketball.
Nah, he's like, who'd they compare him to on that post? The one that you were referring to, 50. Oh, Deuce McBride. I like that comparison. Bronny can shoot the three. I think he's going to be a better pro than he is a collegiate player.
I think he's going to be Rashad McCants.
I'm going to pull his stats up. Rashad McCants was better than him in college.
He's going to be in the big three before LeBron retires.
Where he got to play, he showed flashes of being really good, and in the combine, he did very solid.
Yeah, showed flashes. He averaged 4.8 points per game, 2.8 rebounds a game, 2.1 assists per game. He averaged 36 points. He was 36% from the field, 26% from three, 67 from the free throw line. If his last name isn't James and he's not LeBron's son, this dude isn't fucking even getting invited to the draft. Like, it's the reality.
It's
true.
Insane.
It's just a reality. And I'm not taking anything, it just is.
It just blows my mind that he would have the audacity to turn down. He should be going to every workout.
Yeah.
He's not a draft prospect. It's wild. No. A bunch of players better than him are coming back for one more year. It's the weakest draft class that we've seen in a long time, and people are still saying he's not even in the top 50.
Yeah.
I think Justin Herbert might be upset over game one still when Deuce had 21 points.
John said he got his dad at McCants jersey for Father's Day in 2005. That's my God.
People forget McCants was all right, here we go.
I forgot he was a Timberwolf. I didn't mean to hit John with that. I'm so sorry.
I think
I'm pulling up Rashad McCants' career, his stats in college. I'm doing it.
I think that Bronny will be a better pro than he was a college player because he's going to have the right training.
Well, he sucked in college, so it's not very hard to do. Rashad McCants averaged his career 17. I'm done with you, Keeble. I'm done listening. Rashad McCants averaged 17.6 points per game in college. So that was over 3 years. So he averaged fucking 5 times as many points per game times 3 fucking years. He averaged 4.1 rebounds a game. So he averaged more rebounds. He shot 54% from 2, 42% from 3 over his career. Let's go compare that to Bronny James here. Let's take a gander. Bronny James shot 26.7% this year from 3. Rashad McCants was an NCAA champion, NCAA All-Tournament, NCAA All-Region, 2-time All-ACC and ACC All-Freshman team. I'm done with the bullshit. I'm done with the fucking I'm not going to let you guys shit on Rashad McCants any longer.
He was ruined by a Kardashian. That's what happened.
He also won the fucking title.
I think you guys might just be upset that Jalen Brunson's the best point guard in the
NBA. I'm a little upset about it.
Best point guard in the NBA is playing right now, and he's at 30.
No. Oh, what? Oh, Luka. I was saying, you're not calling Kyrie the best point guard in the NBA. I know what year it is.
As a Mavs being my second favorite team, I think Luka's more of a point forward rather than a point guard.
See, now you're taking details. Now you're just making Herbert. We're not going to let the Rashad McCants slander last any longer.
So you're telling me I overrated Bronny James. I just want to get that clear, James.
Rashad,
is that the issue? Okay.
Rashad mid-Cants.
There's also a player from Bowling Green that's staying in the draft that averaged 0.7 points per game, so that's fine. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Hey, good for you, man.
Rashad McCants' NBA career averaged 10 points a game. He was 6th man of the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. It was an overrate.
Yeah, so like I said, Rashad mid-Cants.
6th man of the year.
I guarantee you. You know who else won 6th man of the year?
Lou Williams.
Jamal Crawford, dude's a Knicks legend.
That's right.
Jamal Crawford, yeah.
A few times, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely think he was multiple times.
So any other options you guys think potentially a return to Cleveland would be in the cards for LeBron? I don't think so, but a lot of the folks in Cleveland do.
Only if they trade Donovan Mitchell.
which
If
is
they
or
draft him
Darius,
to get them both.
or Darius Garland. If one of those two leaves, then I could see it.
that's fair. James, what about you? Any other candidates you could see LeBron going to? And then I've got one in particular I want to ask you both about.
This is a funny comment. This is actually true. Jamal Crawford, Knicks, and 13 other team legends.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
he plays for a lot of teams. I'm telling you, like, I think it's going to be like somebody's going to make LeBron eat his words. They're either going to make him pay up and show up to their doorstep, or he's not going to play with his son. I think that's what's going to happen. I think somebody's going to call this bluff.
Yeah,
LeBron's trying to power play his way into getting his son somewhere he wants, and somebody's going to be like, or just come here.
Hey, we talk about returns. I know that Jimmy Butler has stated he wants a max contract extension, and after Pat Riley has already told him to shut up through the media when he was talking shit while being injured, I kind of doubt that Pat Riley's going to pay a max contract to a 34-year-old, I believe, often injured guard. So there's probably going to be a big Jimmy Butler-sized hole in Miami's roster. Any chance he comes back to Pat?
No.
No. Fair enough. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. But guys, I got this ridiculous concept. You think the one I just told you was bad? We talked about the one of two teams that Bronny's willing to work for. Well, in order for the Phoenix Suns to draft Bronny and bring LeBron in, I was told that LeBron would have to sign for the league minimum, the veteran minimum, to go and make a big four with Bronny and Grayson Allen being the only two players coming off the bench there. You guys think there's any chance that Kevin Durant and LeBron James would play together in Phoenix next year?
I think what should happen is LeBron and KD should say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go to the Warriors.
Yeah,
I would just give us Madden. Just give us fucking Madden.
I wouldn't be upset with it. LeBron goes, KD goes back to the Bay, whatever you want to fucking call it. Weakest move in history, whatever. and then LeBron's like, you know what? They stopped me a few times from winning a couple rings. You know, I could play with Steph. And then Curry, KD,
the old guard gets one.
Curry, KD, and Bron all team up and show the young guns that the old heads still got it.
That would be fun. I mean, you guys know this. As much as I am a fan of a small market team, I love the madness. I'm not anti-super team. I love it, especially when it fails. It's just kind of a happy irony for me when it doesn't work out for teams. But I wouldn't hate that. I think a lot of fans would hate that. And that's the same reason I don't think LeBron's going to Phoenix, because I think KD and LeBron are both too image conscious no matter what they tell you. I don't think either of them want to hear that rhetoric of, oh, you had to join to get a super team. You can't ever win one on your own. So I don't think KD would want LeBron. I don't think LeBron would want to join KD. Maybe in a couple more years when they're both a little older and you can no longer claim that either of them is leading a team or even a top 2-3 guy on a team. Maybe they do that, but I do see a possibility. I don't know what Golden State's money looks like, but I think Clay is another guy who wants more money than I think he's currently worth. So
Clay
the
wants
Warriors,
so much money.
Yeah, the Warriors, they may have the cap space to go ahead and sign LeBron instead. I could not imagine LeBron and Draymond playing together. So I would love nothing more than the Warriors to say, hey, sorry, Draymond, we no longer need your services. And then they sign LeBron instead. And then we get to see who wants to sign Draymond Green.
Draymond's been like the biggest LeBron meat rider recently that I've ever seen. So I wouldn't doubt him playing with LeBron a chance.
Oh, and then, LeBron probably would too. Fair enough. Maybe they would do it. God, I would hate if they're all Draymond has to go. If they get LeBron, I could not stand LeBron and
You'd just be
Draymond
like,
on the
out.
same team.
You'd lose. You'd be
Oh.
like, nope, I'm out. Can't do this shit.
Yeah, I'm sitting out for a year, guys. I'll come back next year. Oh, that would be a real hell no for me. Well, guys, we are at a point now with a 29-point halftime lead. I may be jumping the gun, but at risk of doing that, I don't have any other topics left. So
I'll say it for you. The Dallas Mavericks advanced to the Western Conference Finals in 5 games against Anthony, Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan, Edwards, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Drop some W's in the chat. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get right into it. Luka's the GOAT. He should have won MVP. Jokic
Let's
didn't
go,
deserve it.
Luka. Jokic deserved it.
Luka-
But, however,
I just said Lukic. Luka
you mixed. Now that'd be a hell of a player. Them two mixed together,
They're
motherfucker.
my
That'd
next
be-
creative player.
Luka averaged 35, 10, and 9, whatever bullshit it was.
When the Mavericks win the championship this year, they're going to give Luka the MVP next year. It's going to be one of those situations like we're going to retroactively give it to him.
This
by
should
giving
be
him
Luka
next year's.
Doncic's 24th MVP, and he's going to win his first ring this year against.
They're winning. Yeah. Okay. Let's make our. Okay. So here we go.
Yeah,
Finals
that's where I was
predictions.
going. Yes, there we
Yeah,
go.
let's get our
Prediction
finals
time.
predictions. I think Keebler's taking the Mavericks. Keebler, tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to take the Orlando Magic.
The Orlando Mavericks in 5, 6.
You can't. That was always my team. So shut the fuck up. That's my team. Give me Mavericks in 6.
I was also going to say Mavericks in 6.
I wanted to beat them too.
Mavericks.
I heard it
in
kind of
6.
slip out. So I got to jump the gun and get this on there.
They're now up 31, fellas.
There's still a chance.
They are a healthy team. Maybe the first time the Celtics will be going up against a team that isn't banged up and missing one of their best players. So I'm going to agree with you guys. Mavericks, I'll just say Mavericks in 7 so we avoid the whole, 666 deal over here. We'll say Mavericks in 7. But you know what? Actually, no, we're going to say Mavericks in 6 because the Celtics, they haven't faced really any adversity in this entire playoffs.
They're just the best. Every time they played somebody, their best player's been gone. They've been
winning 4 games to 1, 4 games to 1, 4 games to 0. They're going to go out and get punched in the mouth, and they're going to be reeling for a couple of games.
Does anybody know if Porzingis has a shot of playing?
I think he does.
I thought there was a chance he was coming back in the Pacers series.
I think after Game 3, they decided not to bother.
Because they're kicking ass.
Yeah, I think he was planning, like if it was a closer series, he was planning to come back Game 5. But
here we go. Latest.
I believe that's right,
Kristaps Porzingis. Let's take a gander here. What is? Don't forget the Celtics head coach is still Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah,
confirmed in
a lot of credit now for his great playoff run.
Yeah, youngest ever coach to make a finals. So fucking stupid. Porzingis hasn't faced any setbacks since preparation. He's getting better each day. I know he's working hard. He's progressing well, and he's working really hard to get back. What a coach! Porzingis posted on X in his native Latvian that he'll be back soon for the finals. The text translated to, "Thank you to everyone who supports and sympathizes throughout the season. I'll be back in line soon. See you in the finals." And then the same arena with your own. Last sentence was talking about playing for the Olympics this summer. Sounds like he is coming back.
That do anything to change your mind, James?
No. Give me Luka Doncic mania. And Kyrie in the finals. Give them both.
And Kyrie, a motivated Kyrie Irving in the finals.
This is
taking on a team and a crowd that I think Kyrie's going to have some nasty games in Boston against that crowd.
Shout out
He's going to talk to the crowd.
Dallas for not quitting on these two. Obviously, they didn't even make the playoffs last year. And they were able to re-sign Kyrie. So good for them, man. Drafting Derek Lively was a great fucking move. Trading for PJ Washington.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
they
PJ Washington. Who am I thinking? I said PJ. That's not who I meant. Is it Jaden McDaniels? Who did they trade?
They made
sorry. No, it was PJ Washington. Sorry, I was looking at the Timberwolves. I was like, wait a second. That's Rudy Gobert doesn't play for them.
Isn't it crazy how people just leave the Hornets and instantly get better?
instantly get better. The PJ, I said, actually, you go back and watch it. I said it when they traded for PJ Washington. It was one of my favorite draft deal or my trade deadline deals. I thought that was a fucking great move.
Yeah, it's a great player.
He's been-
And
he's
what
been
I also love that
great
this,
in the playoffs.
I forgot, not only is this going to be the Kyrie Irving finals, but it'll be the battle for Grant Williams. I've seen that meme. Loser
Yeah,
has
that
to take
one's-
Grant Williams
yeah,
back on their roster.
Has to take him back. That's funny.
Fun fact: the Dallas Mavericks had the best defensive rating in the league after the trade deadline. Just want to put that out there.
After they got rid of Grant Williams, right? The
defensive
defensive specialist.
I'm gonna call this the Grant Williams finals.
It
Dude,
is
Grant Williams is a
finals
dime store Dylan Brooks, and I mean that with
in the worst way
all
possible.
due respect.
with all due respect,
With
to Dylan
whatever
Brooks.
respect is due.
Grant Williams is the Anthony Bennett's of Kyle Kuzma's.
No, this is a fun
Exactly.
game. Okay, yeah, this is some. I love this. All right, so there's our official finals predictions. Hopefully, we will have another episode while the finals are still going on. You know, I don't think it'll
Hopefully
be a
it's hopefully it's not a sweep.
Mavs in 4.
sweep. Mavs and 4. Keebler won't be
Bring it on.
upset, but guys, do you have James? I'll start with you. Do you have any other topics that we missed that you'd like to cover?
I saw Ty Lue signed a new contract to make him one of the highest coaches in the NBA, signed through 28-29, making approximately $14 million a year.
I do have to switch my laundry though, so unfortunately, I do have to bounce.
Whoa.
Oh, nice.
But I figured I would stop in because I've been leaving you guys hang, and I felt bad.
Welcome back, Gibbs. You're
We
always welcome, my
appreciate you,
friend.
Keebs.
So
Find him.
I should be here in a week. Should.
Nice.
He's working man, working hard, boys
Dude,
and girls.
dude, they had us working fucking mandatory overtime last week, 2 hours every day.
Oh shit!
I was tired. I wasn't getting home till 8 o'clock at night every night. It was a bitch.
Ooh.
Fuck that. Nice.
Well, hopefully that paycheck is nice and fat. You guys can find him on Instagram and Twitter at the Knicks Stop.
Bang.
Keebler will hopefully be here with us next week, and we know he'll be celebrating tonight. So have a good time out there.
Take care,
brother. Thanks
Keebs.
so
Good
much
to see you.
for joining us.
Boys.
Yeah, Kev.
Oh,
Do you
wait,
think?
I almost just clicked end stream. Whoops, that would not.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, we'd have called you Nate. We'd have called you Nate.
I'm not gonna do that.
You know, it's a shoot.
Got him. He'd be like Nate canceling out the stream.
Yeah. All right, James. You said that you had. Was there another topic that you had for us?
Oh, Ty Lue he just got that.
Oh, it was
$14 million
a
year
Ty Lue
contract
thing.
to 28-29. Like, I don't know. Is he worth that kind of money? I don't think so.
What did they do to?
I don't
Have
know.
they really
Once
accomplished
a head,
anything?
once a head coach, always a head coach. I don't fucking know. I mean,
I guess
not
you're
really.
right.
I mean, their injuries have derailed them, but at some point, you got to accept that. Like, Paul George is a free agent. Kawhi is signed, but that knee of his has just never been the same since he fucked it up.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, fire
Even
him,
when-
but I'm saying, did you have
yeah.
to re-sign him to the
That
highest
kind of
paid?
money.
Is he worth being the highest paid coach?
You better believe in him
way.
if you think that. Like, you better believe that he can rebuild if they need to. Is he going to want to be a part of that? That's just that.
That's
I don't
the
know,
other
man.
part. That's a great
Yeah.
point, actually, James. Like, what
Yeah,
if this window closed? And how many years was the extension for? I guess that's a good question.
to 28-29. I don't know
Yeah,
how long.
What's the point of that? You're gonna
Let's see.
paging the Milwaukee Bucks. You're gonna be paying for this guy 2 or 3 coaches down the road, because there's no way, if Paul George doesn't come back, whenever Kawhi is gone, what proof is there that Ty Lue can teach a rebuilding young team? We've almost only ever see him coach teams that are pretty well stacked at this point.
Yeah.
And to that
He
point,
had 1 year. He had one year left on his contract.
what is he? And he had a year on his contract. What has he accomplished with all of these good players?
Sixth best winning percentage in 4 seasons with the Clippers. They've no shit. They made the finals once.
Again, I'm not anti-re-signing him, even though he had a year left in his contract. But to sign him for that long of a deal with that much money, that just reeks of you're going to be paying this guy long after he's done coaching for you. So congratulations on that.
We'll pray for you, Johnny. The dark
So sorry,
side is
John.
gone.
Hey,
The dark side he must go to.
we will, we'll always have those conference finals, Hey,
We'll always have those. Yeah, you guys. That's
a lot of people didn't think the T-Wolves would be here. Don't forget that. So
also correct.
You guys are ahead of schedule
Jesus.
too, in
Whatever.
a lot of opinions, but maybe it'll be time to move on from a couple of those older players. But yeah, man, that's about it for me tonight. James, do you have anything else for the fine folks at home? And if not, you want to tell them where you can find where they can find you?
Shout out Dallas Mavericks, Western Conference Finals Western Conference champs. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, there's the Yoda reference. Into exile I must go.
Into exile I must go. Fail.
There it is. Oh, fuck, John. Fuck. Good news, John. The Acolyte is next Tuesday, so there's a little positive thing in your future. No, I got nothing else. You guys can catch me every Monday at 6 p.m. on the Weekly Dweeb on our sister station, talking all the entertainment news of the week. We got a lot of weird shit. We've got some Lord of the Rings talk. We're going to talk Furiosa, Lego sets. We got some fun stuff we're going to talk about. Then every Wednesday you can catch me, and these are always with Kev. Like I have no other friends. I do streams with one guy and one guy only. Every Wednesday we are talking Star Wars. Next week will be our beginning of our Acolyte previews every week, or our reviews, however you want to call them. We're going to be talking Acolyte every week for the next 7 weeks. Doubleheader next Tuesday. We'll be talking Wednesday, 9 p.m. every Wednesday. So check us out on our sister station. I'll let Kev cover everything we do on this one.
That is right. And so I will be there with James on his already mentioned channels. And you can also find me right here, Bite Size Sports. Of course, we've got the Thursday night show at 9. Here soon it's going to change from an NBA only show to just a general sports show. So we look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. Talk about everything with you guys. You can also, don't forget the LA Leakers. You can also find me on Tuesdays and Sundays on the Clout Route from about 6:30 to 8:30-ish. Yep. Come hang out with me and Danny on the fastest growing comedy show in my neighborhood. I checked. I got a few cease and desists because some of the neighbors didn't really want to answer my questionnaire, but that's okay. Fastest growing comedy podcast in my entire neighborhood. And you can also find me on Carnage Unleashed Wednesday nights at 7:30 on Carnage Media.
Busy man.
Back into pay-per-view season. So we've got those on Saturday nights. If you are interested in watching those, again, that's at Carnage Media pay-per-view. And the Lima Warriors, Saturday afternoons. I am the play-by-play guy for the Lima Warriors. Shout out to them, the Players Football Association. If I have forgotten anything, I am terribly sorry. BitesizeSports.com. We got articles out. Go check them out. And that will be it for me. Of course, my Twitter handle is right here at KevNevick _. Also Instagram. So you can follow us there if you've got any questions or topic ideas. We would love to see you. We also have a Discord, so be sure to join that. We will put a link in the chat here in just a moment. But in the meantime, we are going to say thank you one more time to all of you wonderful people, and we are getting out of here. Here is a word from our wonderful sponsor, Dubby. You have a great night. Sports. Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code BITESIZESPORTS.